If I had to distill this channel down to one succinct message, that message would be, I don't have to have a crappy life because you had one. How many of us have parents who justify their abuse of us, their verbal, physical, and sometimes inappropriate touching of us? Okay, sometimes all three, sometimes even more, things that I haven't described. How many of them justify that by saying, well, when I was younger, I had it worse. Or when I was younger, this happened to me. Or when I was younger, that happened to me. Or when I was younger, the sun collided into the earth. Who cares? We don't have to have crappy lives because they did. There's no law saying that you have to absorb the hurt and the pain of the people who bring you into this world without asking you if you want to be brought into this world. Now, I've been away. I haven't made videos for a while. I got a new job. I'm doing new things. I'm working a different shift. So I'm acclimating to that. I've been away. I hope everyone is doing well. All the people, I have some people who follow this channel very, in a very loyal way. And I appreciate you, and I do not mean to neglect you, but sometimes life requires me to do other things rather than focus on this channel. Sometimes my mental health requires me to do other things than focus on this channel. But understand, this channel will always stand as a channel that says, put yourself first. I am in a phase of my life, okay? And I feel it's been advantageous to me. So I hope that you're in this phase, or I hope you're approaching this phase, because I feel it's a positive thing. But I have been in a phase of my life where it's about me. Not in a narcissistic way, not in a way that hurts other people, but in a way that preserves the space and the 3 feet of bubble around me. Everybody they say that the human animal, in order to feel safe and secure, requires 3 feet of space. 3 feet of space. I'm owning that 3 feet. I'm claiming that 3 feet. I am demanding that 3 feet. And I hope you do the same. And that 3 feet means boundaries. And that 3 feet means I will consider my well-being before yours if you are not a child, an elderly person, or an invalid. My 3 feet comes first because I'm alive and I exist, and I have to be on this planet from anywhere to 80 to 90 to 100 years, probably, because humans are living longer and longer. I have to be on this planet for a long time. So I need it to be a good time. I need it to not be a grind. I need it to not be, me being Conan pushing a heavy weight for decades. I need it to be a good thing. We don't have to have crappy lives because they had crappy lives. What you can do with a crappy life, which is what I started off with, being born to a narcissist, being born to a borderline personality disorder, having a lady who decided that, screw everything, sweep everything under the rug, blah, blah, blah. I had a crappy life as a result of that. And you know what I do when I'm around people? I don't fuck with people unless they fuck with me. I don't harm people unless they seek to harm me. And even within that, I would first prefer to disengage. I am not a violent person. I am a peaceful person, but I am not a fucking coward. And I'm not going to stand there and allow you to shit on me. That is the difference. I am claiming that I want a good life, and I am making inroads into getting that good life. And I am claiming and standing firm in the fact that I was owed more than I was given, in the sense that You chose to bring a child into this world. Nobody held you down and did anything to you to make you conceive a child. So you chose to bring a child into this world. So when you do that, you enter a contract that cannot be denied, though many of you do it, you narcissists, you fucking estranged parents. You entered into a contract that said, I will give this being the best of myself. And you reneged on that contract. So I say again, I don't have to have a shitty life because my mother had a shitty life. You don't have to have a shitty life because a narcissist in your life had a shitty life. You don't. And the way you claim a better life is by getting away from them. Because let's talk about it. No contact. Everybody says no contact is on the scapegoat, on the truth teller, the kid who walked away. Let me tell you what no contact is predicated on. What is the foundation of no contact? Poor treatment. So really, if you think about it, who initiated no contact? Was it me, the child who didn't understand why I was being treated horribly? Or was it the person who chose to treat me horribly? Who initiated no contact? I just grew into the adult who wasn't going to put up with this bullshit anymore. And I made the necessary moves, okay, to extricate myself from a bad situation. So if you really, really think about it, who initiated no contact? How does a relationship end? It ends when you treat your partner badly. It ends when you take her for granted or him for granted. It ends when you do things that lets this person know you don't appreciate them. See, we accept logic in a romantic sense, but we don't accept logic in a familial sense. If you have a girlfriend and you beat her and you cheat on her and you call her all kinds of bitches and do all kinds of horrible, disrespectful shit to her, and she leaves you, and everybody knows what you did, nobody's going to be surprised. Nobody's going to feel bad for you. You know why? You bought that. You owned it. You initiated the breakup. She just finally realized the reality of the situation, and she walked away. But when it comes to familial shit, nobody seems to understand that. Here's the thing. We don't need to wait for people to understand. We have to understand. We don't have to have a shitty life because these losers, these narc parents, these estranged parents who will never ever understand, never ever apologize, and never ever reflect, so stop waiting for it. Okay? We realize we need to get away from these people because they're not going to change. They initiated no contact. Everybody's putting no contact on the scapegoat, the truth teller. Nobody's looking at the antecedents. In medicine, okay, I'm a nurse. I'm a licensed nurse. In medicine, we don't just look at what happened to you or why you have kidney failure. We look at the reasons so that we can adequately treat you. Because based on the reason that you've entered the disease process, we might have to treat you with a different method of treatment. Okay? So we look at the antecedents. That's just logical. But when it comes to family, nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to blame the scapegoat. It's almost as though the narcissist puts it out into the ether that you are to be vampirized upon, you are to be fucked with, you are to be drained, you are to be expected to do all the work. What does that sound like? Does that sound like a loving expectation for a child? Does that sound like you're setting your child up for something good? Or does that sound like fucking slavery, which was outlawed in 1865? Or rather, actually the Emancipation Proclamation came out in 1863. Had a long shift, forgive my ramblings. 1863, slavery was outlawed by the Emancipation Proclamation. They want us to be fucking slaves. They want us to suffer for the bad life they had. And because they won't seek help and because they won't heal the inner child that they have within themselves, there will be no end to the hell that they subject us to. So why are you waiting for this person to change? Why are you waiting for the situation to be better? Why are you waiting for flying monkeys to stop attacking you and pecking at you and fucking with you, when you know the very process that they need to undertake to end this is something that they're too arrogant, too stupid, too short-sighted, and quite frankly, too weak to do? So once again, why are you allowing people to give you a shitty life just because they had a shitty life? Stop doing it. Period.